18 News begins with a forecast first from the 18 Storm Team.
Good evening. So we continue on into the evening and into the overnight. Still looking a lot sunnier as we get into the evening, but a couple of clouds do still stick with us as we take a look at satellite and the radar. Really not too much happening throughout our region as temperatures start to fall. So we're getting back into the mid to upper 70s. Elmira, Corning, 79 degrees. Mansfield, Troy, Watkins, Glen Basting at 78 degrees, as well as Towanda. Wellsboro, a little bit on that cooler side, as well as Spencer, sitting at 76 degrees. And as we do continue on into the overnight, we drop back into the 50s as we get into the start of your day tomorrow. It's a little chilly for your overnight again as we fall back into the mid to upper 50s as clouds start to increase. Your 18 News at 6 p.m. starts now.
Live from your local news leader, this is 18 News at 6.
An Elmira man is in the Chemung County Jail after allegedly breaking into the JCPenney in Big Flats. According to Chemung County Sheriff's Office, multiple departments were called to JCPenney on Wednesday for reported burglary in progress. 61-year-old Eric J. Williams was found inside the store before officers took him into custody. Williams was taken to the Arnett Ogden Medical Center to treat a cut on his arm he received from using a large rock to break through the glass doors of the store. Williams was later charged with burglary and criminal mischief. The opening of a new tobacco shop near Elmira College is moving forward after a stop work order was issued last month. Today we saw the sign outside Tox Exotics on College Avenue was taken down. That's where a sandwich shop used to be, next to the former Family Video store. The Elmira Code Department said the sign will be put back up when the business secures the proper permits. The stop work order on the front door has also been removed. The Code Department says the shop will sell tobacco and tobacco-related products. We're told is expected to open in a few weeks. And after being empty for 15 years, Mano's Diner is undergoing a transformation. A new site plan proposes for the diner to be turned into a Dollar General store. Outside the parking lot will have 47 parking spaces. Overall, the project spans 12,480 square feet. The Park Pool in Corning is open again after it closed this past Wednesday. It opened this afternoon and is now running on its normal schedule. Officials shut it down during Wednesday's storm. Now we have the hours. It's open on our website. That's mytwintiers.com. A basketball tournament played across the country is coming to Corning this weekend. It is the first time in the tournament's 50 years history is being played there. Now more than 100 teams will play 3-on-3 in the Gus Macker basketball tournament at the Corning Credit Union parking lot. 16 courts will be set up. The tournament will be played Saturday and Sunday. Here at home, government agencies and hospitals are seeing the impact of the outages. And according to Chemung County Executive Chris Moss, various Chemung County departments are experiencing computer issues directly related to the worldwide outages involving Crowdstrike. Moss said that some offices are opening later today as the county's IT department works to address the situation. And Guthrie is another business experiencing mass system disruptions as a result of the global outage. However, all Guthrie hospital emergency departments are open. Guthrie said in a statement on Facebook that some patient services has been impacted. For all clinic visits, patients should keep their appointments as scheduled unless contacted by their provider. Elective surgeries at all hospitals are postponed and impacted patients will be contacted. A new bar is now open at a building that was closed for several years in downtown Elmira, and it's not the only business being planned for the property. The city's first legal cannabis dispensary could also be opening soon. Our 18 News reporter Nick Dabina spoke with the owner.
After being vacant for several years, the Water Street Place building in downtown Elmira is being transformed into several new businesses. The projects are being run by a family partnership that's helping to revitalize the downtown area.
So for those that don't know, we're a family business. We're a family partnership, family business. So we looked at this building for a year easily, and it was kind of an eyesore in the downtown area. And we did a lot of footwork and legwork to find out who owned it. We purchased the building, and we kind of just had a vision in our mind of what, looking at everything else in the area, of what would be the best fit for the area. So that's how we built this out.
Kaylin Knox gave us a look inside the playground. The new sports bar is getting ready for an official grand opening after a so-called soft opening 3 weeks ago. The space used to be a furniture rental store.
Well, we focus on league play, so we have dartboards here. We have video games in the back. We have 3 pool tables. We do have beer pong tables, which will start when the college kids come back into session. We have cornhole, which we'll be doing cornhole leagues. We have 37 TVs or so. We have 310-inch drop-down projectors. We have a full DJ booth, full club-style sound system.
Knox and his family are also working on several other projects for the building. They include what could be one of the first legal cannabis dispensaries in Elmira.
So we're also working on, we're working with the OCM to develop a medical dispensary within this property. So we've been granted proximity protection down here, which means that not within a certain amount of area that no one else can open up one. So we're just in limbo right now with the lawsuits and legal challenges the OCM is going through. They've kind of slowed down in their approval processes. So we're just in kind of a holding pattern right now, waiting on them.
Other projects include an incubator-style space to help small businesses grow.
For people that have secondary jobs, right? People that are becoming estheticians, beauticians, tattoo artists, masseuses, they'll be able to rent out, instead of a booth, they'll rent out a suite and be able to have a centralized receptionist that works for everyone.
Knox is also the owner of the WMC North Jazz Lounge and Restaurant across the street. He is also a chef and the grandson of Jesse Knox, a local chef that worked at several restaurants in our area since 1949.
Many restaurants, many people he influenced, trained many folks. My brother, my sister are both parts of this, integral parts of this business. So, and they are, and the great thing is that they're immigrants. So we immigrated here from another country and have been able to see the American dream through that. So it's really a cool thing.
To watch our full conversation with Kaylin Knox, we posted it on our website. That's mytwintears.com. In downtown Elmira, I'm Nick Dubina, 18 News.
One man is facing felony assault charges after police say he poured hot soup on an inmate at the Chemung County Jail, burning them. Good evening, Twin Tiers. I'm Deja Gross. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. According to the Chemung County Sheriff's Office, 36-year-old Brendan P. Crowley, who was already an inmate in the Chemung County Jail, is the one facing charges. And this comes as he poured hot soup over another inmate. Crowley was arrested and returned to the jail. The condition of the victim is unknown at this time. And traffic was slowed down earlier this afternoon due to a car fire on I-86 in Big Flats. Now take a look at this. According to an 18 News reporter at the scene, the vehicle appeared to have caught fire in the westbound lane on I-86 going past the airport near Corning. 18 News does not know when the fire started, but flames were out around 2:25 this afternoon. Now, no one was seen near the car. The cause of the fire and if there are any injuries is unknown at this time. Our Twin Tiers Most Wanted for the week comes from the Schuyler County Sheriff's Office. 20-year-old Tristan DeBella, is wanted right now for violating probation after originally being charged with driving while impaired by drugs. If you may know of his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the Schuyler County Sheriff's Office using the number on your screen. Now, Twin Tiers Most Wanted airs every Thursday. You can see other Most Wanted profiles on our website. That's mytwintears.com. And one of the places in our area that is cleaning up right now after this week's storm is Montour Falls. That's where a strong downward wind called Microburst hit parts of the village and forced some families out of their homes. Now, our Janice Washington joins us now. Janice, I saw the damage. It was very severe. I even saw that a tree fell down on a Dodge. So tell us, what did you see out there?
The people that I spoke to said it's been a rough couple of days, but I spoke with the people impacted by these microbursts and how the cleanup effort is going.
This one is the one the fire department had to go in and rescue the people out. They couldn't get out.
This is the scene today in Rock Cabin Park after a microburst hit parts of Montour Falls. A microburst is an intense downdraft of air that spreads out in all directions when it hits the ground, creating hazardous wind conditions near the surface. John Parker is one of the people who was home when disaster struck.
I heard a bunch of high wind, and I was in the trailer, and I heard some creaking, and then the next thing I know, the trees land between my trailer and the trailer next door. It was quite loud.
The village has got several areas where they are cleaning up, and as the crews go through, many of the homeowners have, brought some of the debris out to the curb. We'll go through, we'll chip it up and move on, and it can continue to bring this stuff to the curb. We'll continue to go and take care of that.
Although the damage is done, there is still a long road to recovery.
The long-term effects is going to be, bringing these structures either up to a level of safety or they're going to have to be removed and demolished. There's other places in the village too. We have to get some trees removed, and we've got tree experts coming in evaluating which trees have to come out, and then we'll have to get on a timeline to get those done.
In Montour Falls, Johnny's Washington, 18 News.
Thank you, Johnny's. Well, there may or may not be enough food for families to pick up at one local food pantry after this week's storm ruined most of its supply. Our 18 News reporter Stefana Yanian visits the Pantry of Angels to see how the people continue to keep helping.
Behind me, people at Pantry of Angels are preparing food for families to pick up. A lot of food was ruined from the storm, and there may not be enough to give out to families. At least 2 weeks worth of food that once was in these now empty refrigerators and freezers was all ruined from this week's storm.
I was up every hour, and in that time I continuously checked all of the refrigerators every hour, freezers, and I watched them go out of temperature, because when they go out of temperature, we're not allowed to give out anything if it's out of temperature for any longer than 4 hours.
I've thrown a lot of food into garbage, like probably a couple thousand pounds of food in the garbage, because all our refrigeration went down. Storm was just crazy.
I didn't lose power myself, but I just feel bad that we lost power here at our pantry, and you know, we serve so many people, and I feel really bad about it, and we're just trying to give what we can give back what they lost.
Normally, the volunteers would use this conveyor belt to bring up the food when they package it, but because they yet don't have any power, they now have to bring up the food by themselves. The pantry serves more than 200 families a week and is running on generators to keep themselves functioning.
I know that's a really hard thing to do because so many of us lost food. I lost food. My electric was out for almost 80 hours. So it's amazing that they're able to still help people out.
McKinnon says people are welcome to drop off food at the pantry at any time. In Lindley, Stefana Yanian, 18 News.
And more details on how you can drop off is available on our website. That's mytwintiers.com. And when traffic lights stop working after a storm, some drivers don't know how to cross intersections safely. Elmira police say it's common to see drivers make mistakes when lights are down or flashing. When asked, the Elmira PD Traffic Bureau to explain what drivers should know if traffic lights go down, again, this is what they say you should do.
It should always be approached as a four-way stop sign. So you should approach it, you should stop, and don't just stop and then proceed through the intersection. Stop, take a look, make sure that other cars are aware that it's out, that they're stopping as well before proceeding into the intersection. Again, it's the same thing as if you would approach a four-way stop. Don't assume that the other cars are going to stop, but you yourself stop, proceed with caution into the intersection to avoid any collisions.
Police say you should also be careful when driving near road crews who are repairing power lines or clearing down trees. And new signs can be seen on Corning's soon-to-be Pizza Hut as construction is nearly complete. According to the new owner, the grand opening is sometime in August. Original plans for the restaurant were to open in early this year, but things were put on hold when building plans had to be changed to fit the city's building codes. 40 new jobs will be coming to the area as a result of this project. This comes after Pizza Hut in Corning closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The city of Elmira says it is almost time to reveal a multi-million-dollar renovation of the clock tower at City Hall. Now here's a live look at the clock tower. As you can see, workers took down a cover today that had been up since October of last year during major repairs. The city says the 129-year-old clock tower had become unsafe for people inside and outside the building because of failing motor, weeds, and water leaks. And the total cost of the project is nearly $3.7 million. Now, it's being paid for with a mix of federal money from the American Rescue Plan and a grant. City Manager Michael Collins says scaffolding will come down next. He told us a ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held in the, quote, very near future.
People who don't have power have to find ways to charge their phones and devices, right? Our 18 News reporter Nick Dubina shows us where charging stations are open right now across our area.
For people who still don't have power 2 days after the storm, one of the concerns is trying to keep cell phones and other devices fully charged. That's why places like the Steele Memorial Library in downtown Elmira are offering folks somewhere to come in, cool down, and power up. Are you still without power?
Yes, I am.
Kyle Sutton says his neighborhood on Elmira's south side could be without power until Thursday.
Trees are down, people without electric, food's going bad on the south side. There's no way we can fix it. So we all would like to sometimes come here to the library, charge our phones, hang out with friends, do that kind of stuff.
The worst part was not being able to communicate, losing power, being able to charge my phones, and my kids definitely needed something to occupy their attention, and that was the toughest part, was having devices charged up.
That's why the Steele Memorial Library in downtown Elmira is doubling as both a cooling and charging station. You don't need a library card to use it.
You just come to the second floor, and at the reference desk in front of it, we have a desk that just has some different types of charging cords, pretty much all of the common ones out, and also one of the wireless charging cords, so people can just come in and charge. We ask people to limit to 30 minutes per person, just so other people can also have a chance to use the station.
Is the Wi-Fi on right now?
Yes. Yep, we have free Wi-Fi. The password is posted around the building, so anyone can come and use our Wi-Fi.
Other charging stations in our area include the Southeast Steuben County Library in Corning, the American Legion Post 730 in Addison, the Village of Montour Falls Volunteer Fire Department, and the Beaver Dams Volunteer Fire Department.
I honestly don't mind about my phone being taken away or anything. I just feel like sometimes Elmira cares more about the richer side than the south side. Just the south side is more poor people and stuff like that, but west side's rich people and all that, and they already got power back yesterday. I can deal without my phone. I mean, I'll miss my girlfriend at sometimes, but my phone's not important to me. Honestly, my family and my food situation is more important than my phone.
For a full list of cooling and charging stations across our area, just head over to our website. That's mytwintiers.com. At the Steele Memorial Library in downtown Elmira, I'm Nick Dubina, 18 News.
I'm not sure I would have said I'm not worried about calling my girlfriend. She probably saw that. Thousands in the Twin Tiers are still without power, and part of that reason is fallen trees. 18 News reporter Joe Mason spoke with crews cleaning up the mess about why so many trees came down.
Back here in Steuben County, crews are continuing to remove debris in this neighborhood in the village of Addison.
There'll be months and months of cleanup.
Jeremiah Sable and his crew are just one of many tree services cleaning up the Twin Tiers after a series of storms earlier in the week.
I'd say one house would pretty much have to be rebuilt from what the storm did, actually. Most houses, I mean, they just have a few punctures. There's not a lot of extensive damage, but there's serious extensive damage to the trees. Trees are down everywhere. I'd say the biggest one we've done so far was 58 inches around at the base and 100 foot tall, laying on the customer's house. 4 trees fell on one of the houses they worked on. But why did so many of these trees come down? Some of it was deterioration in the trees. A lot of it was the trees were hollow. Nobody had any idea that the trees were, but first and foremost, I'd say better than 100-mile-an-hour winds.
I spoke to a NYSEG representative who says there's no set timetable on when power will be fully restored to Chemung, Schuyler, and Steuben counties. When we have more information on that, we'll update it on our website. That's mytwintiers.com. In Addison, Joe Mason, 18 News.
Well, there are still people living without power in our area and facing some other issues caused by the storms. Our 18 News reporter Stefan Ayani went to some places where people are helping storm victims with a couple of things they badly need right now.
People in Chemung County who still don't have power are doing whatever they can to help their families get through the challenges they are dealing with from the storm. People pulled up at Bradley Farms in the Aaron Volunteer Fire Department where water bottles and bags of ice were handed out by employees of Chemung County. Some people are hoping to see their power come back.
Hopefully they can restore all the power to everybody, so everybody's good.
We lost power about 5:30 on Monday. I've received a couple different text messages. It said Tuesday possibly by 11, and then I just received one that said Thursday by 3 possibly, so it's not like I don't know. They said maybe next couple of days, so I'm planning maybe hopefully by Friday. I'd like to have it today, but maybe sometime Thursday.
I haven't been able to find any ice, and
I was wondering, I was going to have to go searching after work to try to find ice, and a lot of places don't have any. So when I seen that they were giving away ice and water, I jumped on it. I left work during my lunch hour to get some.
Other than no water, there are more issues to be dealt with at home.
You got nothing to do, you have no internet, no anything, so it's like being back in the olden days. So you don't do much of anything, and the community I live in, Wellsburg, is very to themselves, so there's nobody outside, and it gets dark quick, and then the storms, you gotta watch out for that, trees, limbs coming down.
We have power now with a generator, but we have no water, so it's nice to be able to get some water and take care of things.
For those who aren't, having the generators running their freezers and refrigerators, dry ice is a real good essential. The ice will help, for sure.
For more information on the water and ice distribution, you can visit our website at mytwintiers.com. And Aaron Stefanayanian, 18 News.
We continue our team coverage from the storm damage that was left behind. The cleanup continues right now in the Elmira area after yesterday's storm. Our 18 News reporter Nick Dubina starts our team coverage with his look at damage and the cleanup efforts.
An 18 News reporter recorded video of what looked like fire and smoke rising from a NYSEG substation in Elmira. It's on East Water and Judson Street. The reporter also saw bright flashes going off. This morning, we saw NYSEG crew members at the substation to assess the damage. They told us they cannot confirm the substation caught fire. We did, however, see some equipment that looked burned. We also saw Chemung County Executive Chris Moss arrive at the scene. What is your first assessment? What can you share at this hour with viewers regarding the status of this substation here and power outages? Let's start with that.
I'm not sure what's going on with the substation here because I'm being told by NYSEG that there's no big problem at any of the substations. The problem is with the number of transformers that have blown and the number of lines that are down from tree limbs. So that's the main problem. NYSEG tells me there's still 100 tickets behind or 100 calls behind from last night. So, I mean, at the height of the storm, 30,000 without electric. Right now I'm being told about 11,000. And unfortunately, they're telling me it's probably going to be 10 p.m. before a lot of the customers are returned to power, and it's going to be a couple of days for some of the customers.
There is a thunderstorm warning again. There's a lot of still debris down, flying projectiles are a concern too, correct?
Certainly, and we're watching the storm because NYSEG has advised us if that storm rolls through here, they're going to have to stop work, obviously because it'd be dangerous conditions, and that's going to set back the time that the power is turned back on. So we're hoping that storm misses Chemung County.
Davis Street is closed between Water and Gray as crews from the City of Elmira Department of Public Works remove a large tree that came down, bringing power lines down with it. This is just one of several areas hit hard by yesterday's storms in the City of Elmira and across Chemung County. So did you hear this tree come down yesterday?
Yeah, it was, at first I thought it was just thunder, and then I saw the movement out of the corner of my eye, and I looked out, and yeah, it just came down and just like cracked the sidewalk kind of thing. It was fast, but it was a lot.
On Maple Avenue next to Notre Dame High School, a viewer sent us a photo of a tree that caught fire. It's unclear if a downed power line sparked the flames. As many people without power swelter in the heat, the Elmira Ice Company on Madison Avenue handed out free bags of ice.
Been without power since about 4 p.m. yesterday, still no power. Maintaining, but however, did lose a lot of food, which is the main thing. I do have a cat that's pregnant, so that doesn't help. I'm maintaining, but it's hard when you have kids, they get aggy, internet's down. Candles, lanterns, LED works great. Thankful for the ice being handed out.
It was hot and muggy, and we like to have our electric on as soon as we can because it's roasting.
The Chemung County Department of Buildings and Grounds also handed out free water at the Southport Volunteer Fire Station and across the street from the Chemung County Nursing Facility.
NYSEG is coordinating dry ice drop-off. We'll get those logistics out a little bit later. So, again, just remember there are power outages in areas. Please just don't fly through intersections, number one, okay? Take turns going through intersections. Check on your neighbors. Check on the elderly. I mean, everything that you would do during, a basic storm. Gotcha. Look out for one another.
In Elmira, I'm Nick Dubina, 18 News.
Steuben County also got its share of storm damage. Our 18 News reporter Joe Mason continues our team coverage from there.
As you can see behind me, this neighborhood in Painted Post was hit hard by last night's storm. Several branches from different trees are down, some of them down on the power lines, but most of the debris has now been cleared and off to the side of the road. I spoke to a man off camera who says his provider told him that he may not have power for another week. I also spoke to a few workers who say a large construction sign was thrown several yards away from its original location because of the storm. At Dennison Park in Corning, several large branches fell, bringing a lot of people out to help clean up.
It was a pretty significant storm. Definitely caused a lot of downed trees throughout the city of Corning. Without having our parks program today, I still brought my staff in to help with some park cleanup. Had some concerns with the park and the parks program running today. So it worked out well that we had extra hands to get most of the material pulled out of the parks.
I also spent time in Gang Mills, where crews are hard at work, and the inside of this tree is almost entirely hollowed out, and where this tree branch came mere inches from doing some serious damage to this house, and where this tree came down, throwing several large branches. For more information on cleanup efforts and when your power may be restored, visit our website. That's mytwintears.com. In Steuben County, Joe Mason, 18 News.
Our team coverage continues with a look at how some people in our area are still without power and why this is happening and when should we all have power again. Our 18 Storm Team meteorologist Anthony Codaspoti has some answers.
Power outages can really put a damper on your day, especially in the summertime.
As you know, there's been a significant number of outages in our Elmira division. And at one point earlier today, there were more than 24,000 customers that were without power. So that number is now down to about 19,000. We have shifted a number of our crews and resources who are working as quickly as they can to restore power. This storm was pretty significant. It was pretty powerful. It caused quite a bit of extensive, severe damage.
And thankfully, most of our area should have power by the evening tonight.
We anticipate that the majority of customers should have power restored this evening, but there are some areas that may not see power on in the coming days, and that's because the damage has been so severe.
And the reason for the outages is more than just wind.
The thunderstorms that we saw that moved through our region. In some cases, there were wind gusts in some areas, 50, 60, upwards of 70 miles per hour. So those winds, they're taking down branches. Those are landing on utility poles, on those wires and bringing those down. So that can cause some disruptions and outages.
For those still without power, there's a way to get information fast on when you might get it back.
But we want to remind people that NYSEG has a free mobile app that they can download on their mobile phones or their devices to stay in the know with outage alerts as we're releasing news, any outage information, updates, restoration times when we get those, because we are working to get those as quickly as we can.
To find any updates on the power restoration, you can visit our website, mytwintears.com. In Elmira, Anthony Codaspoti, 18 News.
Now, 18 Sports from the Williams Honda Sports Desk.
Sayre's Braden Horton has had great success at Division I Liberty Baseball. For the last 2 seasons, the man has been the truth. Now he moves on to the biggest step of his career. Horton has announced that he'll be transferring to play for the University of Oklahoma. The Sooners finished 18th in the country this past season, and Braden looking forward to the shot as he announced it on the X platform. Horton blasted a team-leading 11 home runs for Liberty in 2024, 1 year after leading the Flames in batting average, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage. He's an all-conference pick as well in his freshman campaign. All right, well, tonight was a first for the Horseheads Historical Society. The center held its first ever exhibit dedicated to Little League Baseball and Blue Raider sports. Vintage sports memorabilia that was loaned and donated on display. A huge turnout tonight as well. Everything was on hand, and the actual display will be open for the next few months for all sports. Horsehead softball great Christina Kowalski was a special guest as she rewrote the record books at Horseheads and St. Joseph's in college. Seeing all of this was truly special.
I'm so fortunate to be from Horseheads, a community that cares so much about their sports and their history, and to have it all into one spot and to look at everyone and the familiar faces and to read the stories, it really brings back memories of a lot of good times in my life.
The Little League Baseball here, and obviously through the years, it's given the people, the youngsters, a place to go play ball and so on, to get together. And there's been some good teams, there's been some good records here, there's been some good history made in the Horseheads area.
All right, well, there's some baseball tonight around the region. The Horseheads Hitmen in doubleheader right now against Dansville at the Babe Ruth Field tonight. We'll have an update from their final home games this evening. Plus, the Elmira Piles return home at Dove Field against Geneva. Come back at 11 for all things summer college baseball. 18 Sports' Big Fish Summer continues to bring it. Thank you so much for all your submissions so far. Brought to you by Valley Wholesale Bait and Tackle. It's time, though, for the next big fish. Check out the latest one, the biggest catch here on Big Fish Summer. Congrats to Grace Costin, who caught this awesome largemouth bass in Waukee. Glen. This is one of the many she's caught this summer. You can submit your own big fish photo. Go to mytwintears.com, click on contests. Of course, it's all brought to you by Valley Wholesale Bait and Tackle. And now a little 18 Sports flashback, but not really. Just from 2 weeks ago, take a look at this new state record largemouth bass caught on Cayuga Lake just last week. James Brittenbaugh. So last week, technically, he hauled in this 12-pound, 6-ounce bass. That is a true monster, a state record right in front of us. That's sports. We're going to set it back.
Thanks, Andy. I think that fish was almost bigger than Grace.
That's what I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. But thank you, Andy. I love Big Fish Summer. But before we go, let's take a final look at weather.
Yeah, so still going to be seeing a lot of sunshine, a lot of warmth as we get into the weekend. Partly cloudy for your Saturday, mostly sunny for Sunday. We're into the mid-80s. After that, we're seeing Andy just reeling in a fish in the background. It's hilarious. But then on Monday, we're back to the upper 80s, partly cloudy. Then after that, showers and storms with us throughout the rest of the week. We get a little cooler by Friday. We're back to near 80.
All right, well, we can go fishing this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great time.
Yep, all right. Well, hopefully we'll see you out there, and thanks for joining us for 18 News at 6. More news, sports, and weather time at 18 News at 11.
Have a good night.